in this scenario. Really strong side lane pressure here for Gen.G. Insane wave clear and also range. On the side of Dplus Kia, you really just have to get into the back line from each other.
Yep. It's like, all right, don't be silly. Don't embarrass your parents. You know, there's a lot of onlookers. You can't be.
Please stop getting Smash's barrier. He doesn't like to use it like that.
Well, he hasn't, so he's probably okay for now. Oh, public execution towards his top side. She's looking for the solo kill. Keen, couple more autos, but Keen turns it. Never mind. Showmaker comes in and saves the young man in the top lane. Weird that you can
Canyon
glide.
Is going to start this. Chovy is in the area. They're looking for a play topside. They cancel it, though.
Yeah, Keen actually has the needlework back up, and Shiu doesn't have his ultimate, and so he's just dead. Solo bolo over to Keen. Very nicely played. And now Gen.G, Chains of Corruption do go wide, but they still manage to take down that dragon. Duro now magically journeys his way out, but Lucid not going to get stunned up here, as there is the boat flying out. And Tidal Wave not really going to connect, as now Showmaker in a very unfortunate position, does have to flash to get out of the way of Canyon, as now Lucid, he's looking to exit.
8.
Yeah, what about Fimbulwinter Ambessa?
Oh, I mean, I suppose it's even possible to get more.
There you go. All right.
Chovy is just, he's having an Nivea time now. Got through some of the more awkward parts of this lane, got a tempo advantage around that dragon, and cards could try to get this crystalline overgrowth, but it's too risky. In fact, not going to get it, and also possibly going to be too risky.
It's Ambessa, though.
He has
just dash and then do more dashes, as there it is. There's a knock-up on a Canyon as well, who's delivered backwards. Duro throwing down the Tempered Fate, locks up a couple. Shiu not quite able to answer too much, is out. He will go. Showmaker makes his way in, though, as now Canyon gets his Triumph proc and actually keeps himself alive. The flash forward from Shiu, but there's the Cosmic Binding to hold him in place. Big ol' shield thanks to that Eclipse, as now Showmaker, realizing with Chovy making his way in, he is probably dead, and tells his young top laner just to save himself.
It's a really rough exchange there from Dplus. It looks so good at the outset. Big win, I think, for Gen.G, who also have control of this dragon for the moment.
Yeah, Lucid is going to walk up, though. Let's see who's going to be able to win the smite fight. It is just going to go over to Lucid there. Locks up the Cloud Drake as into the bubble goes the Xin Zhao. As wall is put down, Lucid in a lot of trouble. He's just dead. Does survive for quite some time and actually gets a lot of his health bar back, but still not going to be enough to save him.
This is a huge win, though, for Dplus. Like, the pendulum swings back because they get this plate up here, maybe even a second one. Slight. As the smite timing here is, okay, hold up.
Yep, meanwhile in live, we have a very dead Chovy, or at least a very egg Chovy, until he's a dead Chovy. It's going to take a little bit of time, but there it goes, and that is a kill over to Shiu. The Ambessa being able to pull back that gold advantage that Keen had over him as well. Yeah, he might be in a little bit of trouble here, I might add, as Canyon does go in. He just wants to get out of the way. Yeah, dashing is something that this Ambessa can do. Tempered Fate will be able to hold him in position, and the attempted juke is actually going to work to his detriment, as gets a bunch of shields, but still snip, snip, and down he will go. Turret falls on the top side of the map, though. That is going to be first Turret Blood over to DK.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this doesn't really bother Dplus all that much.
Some crystalline overgrowth has started to build.
Showmaker does have his Seraphs completed and transformed, so can I feel good about this as we're bringing everyone.
It's just going to get flashed on. There's the ulti to try and keep them at bay. Is Duro tanking up the turret nicely, and that should mean that the Ambessa does go down. Duro able to move out of the way of the angry turret and keeps himself alive. And so now another one going to fall down in exchange for an outer on the bottom side. But Chovy is going to survive, as Realm Warp is just going to get rid of the Rift Herald, who just crashes into a wall on the other side of the map. Had a fair few this week. But Gen.G in position, they will start this one up, and it's going down pretty quickly, as Duro possibly stunned up here, and in fact he is, or at least snared by, okay, flash forward from Lucid. It is Canyon that locks down the dragon, as now Lucid is in the back of the pit, having to deal with Chovy, and Canyon wants to be able to flag drag his way out, but it's not quite going to work. Yeah, just taken out by the Xin Zhao, as now Shiu finds himself alone in the backline. And it's just Lucid that goes down after attempting a steal and not quite making it work.
Actually get a ton of value out of his late rod, but the moment in time where Gen.G have this lead feels really good for Chovy. Is going to get the transform to 15.
Yeah, he's actually, I think it's going to tick over. Yeah, there it is right now.
Yep.
Got a full level from that one. Okay.
That's what it says on Showmaker's phone right now. I don't know what it means.
Oh, I wonder whether it means that Keen is going to be okay or not. As flash out of the way of Canyon, and Shiu, unfortunately, is going to be the one that dies. Get off the phone. My goodness. His career moving down towards this bottom side. And that should just be this inner turret going down, and it is. Gen.G secure that one, and it's everything seems to come back to this Gwen being a massive problem. And Keen somehow is a top laner with 100% kill participation.
I mean,
Drake was stolen away because this could have been a soul that they would be fighting for. Is okay, there's a public execution right on top of Ruler as Shiu, still pretty healthy, is now Keen. Diving on forward, they get rid of Shiu though, and Ruler is going to survive. So it's not exactly working out here for Dplus, as now Showmaker running around trying to avoid the skill shots, but he can't do any damage. The Gwen will finally go down. Showmaker lasts a lot longer than I think a lot of people expected, but that's 3 dead for 1.
That's Baron. They're just going to take the magical journey straight to it. They had control vision in the Baron. They'll remove it and put it here in this banana brush. And Gen.G, in one swift swoop, I think it pretty much put the final bookend on this game, as it's not unplayable for Dplus, but it just gets so hard from here with the wave clear they have.
Yeah, the playability is low. And like that's absolutely true.
The follow-up for Shiu's engage just was not there at all, and he went so deep. And basically maximum range on his ultimate that if you try to chase Ruler there, it's not going to work out, as they will eventually take this dragon down. A little bit tankier on this patch, but it will get taken out nonetheless. This is the kind of game you can win unless you win a huge team fight swimmingly to get enough map control back.
Yeah, well, public execution on top of Canyon here. Does have the Crescent Guard to keep himself alive. The Baron is going to help take down this inner turret though. And in the meantime, you've got Keen running amok and taking down this inner in mid at the same time. So Gen.G just splitting the map, making things real awkward for DK.
The realm warp for Showmaker as well. Gen.G were like, oh, are they taking that? Please do. They like all turned around when they saw it. They were like, ooh.
Wow. That's a lot of damage that would take.
That was big damage, but I don't think they care.
Oh, another flat rush coming in there as the tidal wave knocks up Chovy, but they just cannot get close enough. It's so frustrating. He's just always too far away for DK to do anything about. And every time they try and look in, it's a piercing arrow to the face. It's a hail of arrows over the top as now Canyon goes for the engage. Didn't really want to, I don't think, as he does have Crescent Guard available, doesn't have to use it. Although maybe could have to keep himself a little bit more healthy.
Shiu's getting closer to having his ultimate back, so they need to leave. 10 seconds on that one. Maybe this could be the first angle that Dplus have had in a while here to maybe get something done.
Good vision available here for Gen.G though to know exactly where they are. Cosmic Binding does go wide. DK still wanting to get something done here as there's the public execution on top of Canyon as Lucid dives forward as well. Great use of the tidal wave as the bubble is going to come through there. Chovy able to flash out of the way and Showmaker into the backline. Wants to try and kill Keen, but he's so incredibly fed on this Gwen. Chovy finishes him off in the end. And that's all right, DK back out onto the map now as teleport is very short here for the Gwen. As Shiu goes in, so does Lucid though. Great Cataclysm as Tempered Fate to hold Gen.G in position, buying time for Keen as best they can. But Chovy gonna go down as the Ambassador dancing around the fight. Canyon so close to dead, but Korea can't do anything about it. And he's gonna get taken out. Into the backline goes the Jarvan, but why is Canyon still alive?
He's super, super low, but does survive there. And they end up getting the dragon here. It's gonna be Soul Point. Showmaker did a ton of damage. He and Smash were trying their best. Chovy was blown up early, and Nivea needs a little bit of time to actually maximize her damage, obviously, so that was the best a little bit on those final hits.
And Gen.G are just going to take Baron by themselves. A couple of members there as, Canyon and Keen, pretty good at doing that one this game.
You think it would take 2 or 3 autos from Keen to kill that turret with Crystalina for good?
Yeah. Well, there's a public execution as Shiu dives in. They're looking to time it here as Canyon in a good spot right now.
Showmaker?
Chovy trying to dance his way out of there, but Showmaker gets a big old shield and it's just not enough. Both of them lying on the floor as now Keen taking matters into his own hands. Smash still trying to do the damage back as Keen will look a little bit low. But in trade for Lucid and Showmaker's lives, I don't think this is going to work because the teleport back in from Chovy is just going to net the end of the inhibitor turret in mid lane. And in very quick succession, most of these structures are going to be disintegrating right before your eyes. And Gen.G, I feel like this entire game was just about preventing DK from being able to play. As Smash will finally die for the very first time this game, right before his Nexus follows suit. That is going to be the delayed ace, and it will be completed. Nexus dies as well, and Gen.G Man, what a frustrating comp to play into, but beautifully, beautifully navigated by them. Can CC you with the skill shot's kind of ludicrous. Canyon, not necessarily as much with a skill. He spins around on top of you, but it still does work kind of the same way as the Gargoyle can just fall down on top when you have an arrow come down. So at least now he has his ultimate up and available. Lucid moving over, looking for both Ruler and Duro, as there's the Arc of Ruin. Underneath the turret goes Lucid, as Ruler is going to go down. That is first blood over to Smash, but the answering kill does immediately come in. Canyon looking to try and get his way forward, as there's the flash out from Korea, and the flash immediately answered there by Canyon. He wants to get in with another Nimbus Strike, but doesn't quite connect. Duro's there though, and locks down the Yunara, which is now done for Showmaker, so first item is going to be coming on through there, as the Equalizer is put through this top lane from Keen, just to make sure that he creates the tempo that he wants.
And they want to set up for Grubs here very soon, and
this is frightening. There is Wild Growth and the ulti from Smash here available, but there is the Gargoyle's heroic entrance. The arrow's going to come down there as the cleanse immediately stops that one from happening, but there's the Encore, and there is just CC for days, overloading the bottom lane 4 versus 2, and there's nothing DK can do about it.
Efficient, and like you mentioned, already done. Going for tier next.
Wow.
And I just don't know how Dplus are going to be able to function in this game at this point with the Yunara that's this significantly put behind. It's not like Ruler is massively ahead, it's just that the Yunara is behind. And for Gen.G, the Ashe is kind of utility. Like, she's going to have great follow-up for all of the insane engage. It's those guys.
3. My goodness.
And okay, let's see. Lucid can find the angle.
Lucid dives in, finds the Vault Breaker, and down will go Canyon before he can do anything. Wild Growth onto Lucid to keep him alive is now Duro desperately trying to get out, but Lucid saying, this is my buy, and we will find a win here in this mid-game, and Lucid do manage to get something done.
It's not in position. They don't have the champs to do it either. And, I mean, you know, this Dragon just goes over for free. Chovy's free farming in the bottom lane. And Lucid is going to try to start up this Herald. I don't even know.
Over to Gen.G at the same time, so even more money going over their way, close to a 2,000 gold advantage, as that one is going to fall. And yeah, 2.2 in fact.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the bottom turret.
No, not so much. And also probably not going to be taking this Rift Herald either.
It's just another one on the list.
Yeah, well, let's see.
Duro can deny them entry easily.
Lucid is level 11, so he is pretty scary. And now Xiu is ulting his way forward. Duro might be his target, as there he is, able to crash his way in. That is going to be the steal over to Lucid, but is he going to pay for it with his life? That's the question. The Cyclone comes down. Scatter the Weak is fantastic as Lucid. He can flash the wall, but he's also got a Vault Breaker. Xiu is going to die, and I don't think the eye is going to go over to DK. Zombie Scion could have tried to get there, but instead, he is just going to be taken out. So it is just going to be the Rift Herald.
Try to get through the front line of Gen.G and maybe make that a little bit more playable, but you know, Xiu just is unable to really impact that that fight at all with his ult in.
So this is feeling will be able to get away with their lives intact.
It's really going to get harder and harder in this game. And
Chovy! Chovy gets in there. Taunt is going to connect onto only Lucid, though, as everybody else able to flash themselves out. There's a teleport in, though, as Duro is going to die to the turret. Keen might be doing the same thing, but actually the turret hasn't got mad at him yet. It's Chovy that comes down on top and starts tanking it up. Xiu gets the knock up there, as Duro in trade for Lucid is it right now, but Ruler now trying to get a little bit aggressive. Slurkle comes on forward.
You really have to try to find a target and commit all together.
Well, Keen gonna get knocked up. Let's see whether Smash can help take him down, as the heroic entrance does come on in, and that is going to defend the Rumble, and they take down the Dragon.
Probably think twice.
Yeah. Twice rotating over. There is the taunt, and I think Lucid's just dead. There's the Encore. Beat drop comes on down, and yeah, Scatter the Weak is there from Showmaker, but that's all he really offers, and it's just a dead Lucid.
This composition is so oppressive.
As now Lucid trying to deal with Chovy. In the meantime, there's a knock-up out from Xiu, who does have to flash as well to avoid the beat drop. Lucid still fighting here as Chovy just gets out. Heroic entrance to join the rest of his team. Xiu going to die as well. Oh, never mind! He gets a big old shield and survives. But what's the point of surviving if you're just slowly losing the game? Oh, and
Canyon.
there's the Cyclone. Maybe it's a bit faster than I would have otherwise thought. Both of the carries dead in the blink of an eye. And Gen.G are going to turn their sights towards the inner turret and possibly everything else.
Struggle. They can make no dents in Gen.G.
They need to buy some like Wolverine claws or something like that. Because, yeah, okay, Lucid's going to go in and doesn't manage to get the steal, but he got pretty close. Canyon does not early smite this time around as the arrow is going to connect onto Korea, who is very, very dead. Shiu is also very dead. And Showmaker and Smash are just kind of left wondering what the heck they're supposed to do this game. It's a 10,000 gold lead at 25 minutes. Scat of the week there on to Keen. But even if there are some nice answers, in goes Lucid. All right, here's the Hail Mary, the heroic entrance. It comes down as Smash trying to keep himself safe. They take down Lucid to start this off, as it is going to be a kill on Darula. They find one. Showmaker able to get something done, as now Smash throws out that Arc of Ruin onto Chovy. Not able to find too much more, as these harpoons from Kane took so much damage.
And then the equalizer was dropped just for Siege. Dplus had one opportunity there. They seized one ruler.
Yeah, and that's about it. Chemtech Soul now put together.
Out from Dplus, the trade comes through.
Yeah, she also a fantastic ulti to make sure that Chovy wasn't able to just keep control. Not sure what Korea was doing there, but he was probably trying to ward. Never mind, it is just going to be a Vault Breaker. That's all Lucid can really risk at this point in time. 20 seconds until Korea is back up again, as Shiu is just going to getting damage rained on top of him. My God. Ruler just doing a lot right now with the 3 items he's put together already.
And I mean, 3 items on Duro as well in this game.
Yeah.
As the diadem into Moonstone.
He's
so much
a monster.
healing.
There's the flash taunt here. Gets a lot of flashes out of DK. Shiu is going to show up as well. Smash trying to get some autos down and is actually able to get a little bit of work done as Chovy's interrupted. This might be a kill, as there's that Arc of Ruin that you were talking about before, but the flash in from Keen, the Unar overstepped, and it's a heroic entrance now from Chovy. Scat of the week is fantastic out of Showmaker, but I just don't know whether it's going to be enough here, as DK are circling the drain, and despite their best efforts, the gold lead for Gen.G just keeps on increasing.
Who's trying to catch this wave? He will be able to buy some additional time here. They need to buy time for Smash to respawn, otherwise this game will just simply end.
Yeah, this inhibitor is certainly going to go down, as Showmaker does not get hit by the Encore. So, I mean, he might come back on stage once again. We'll just have to see, as Chovy is going to taunt up Career. It's just a little bit sad at this stage, isn't it? As he throws out the Wild Growth and does run away. He's actually going to survive somehow, but the Nexus turrets are not. And Gen.G, what an absolute domination here in this best of 3. 2 drafts that looked unplayable against. And DK just left scratching their heads with a loss in the column for the first time this LCK Cup. Gen.G remain undefeated.
The streak continues.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.